think people understand just how badly Joe Biden is doing. He's doing so badly that his press secretary doesn't even want to hear about the word poll.
I want to ask about polling. In February,
either she doesn't want to talk about Joe Biden's polls or she needs an antacid.
Polls that show that the electorate at large and also significant majorities within the Democratic Party believe that the president is too old. The polls that show the American people and also significant majorities within the Democratic Party don't want him to run again. And the polls that show his handling of the economy, foreign policy, all of these dismal polls, his job approval ratings, does the White House have any basis to challenge the accuracy of that polling?
I'm not challenging the accuracy here. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying to you is that...
doesn't deny the polls are bad.
You know, we're not going to change the minds of Americans. I get that.
So you're telling me that you believe the polls are accurate and you say there's nothing you're going to do about it? That must sound really encouraging to the Democrats. But Biden is the incumbent, Tim Black. Why isn't that helping?
The electorate always wants something new. They want change. They want something different. That's why the power of the incumbency has faded so dramatically in the last years, especially at the advent of the Trump era.
So you're saying that you understand being a second-term president isn't a given, and you know the people want something different, you're just not going to give it to them. You're just going to go with Biden because you want to. Not because you think he really is a strong candidate who can win this thing. See, folks, what we have with the Democratic Party is we have arrogant, elitist, cocky people. I know you don't want it, but we're going to give it to you anyway. And if you don't take it, we're going to blame you.
I think it's time to start focusing on the positive and get over the fact that we have two old white men running for president. One of them is crazy. The other one is normal. This should not be hard.
It should not.
Yeah, can we put up the David Axelrod?
The arrogant, elitist, and cocky Democratic Party are afraid. They're afraid that the third party or independent party candidates are going to come in and unseat Joe Biden and make it almost impossible for him to pull a rabbit out of hat a second time. I don't think that you understand. These polls are bad. How bad? This bad.
David, what are voters saying about the job President Joe Biden has done as president?
Jake, the country has soured on Joe Biden. There's just not another way to put it. According to our latest CNN poll conducted by SSRS, a national poll gives us this snapshot in time. Biden's approval rating is 39% in our poll, 61% disapprove of the job he's doing. Look at it by party. You see that even among his fellow Democrats, he's only at 77% approval in this poll. Only a third of independents approve of the job he's doing. And of course, as you might imagine, only 5% of Republicans. How are things going in the country today? Badly, say nearly 3/4 of respondents in this poll, 72%. Things are going badly in the country today. Only 28% say they're going well. Again, that astonishing number on whether or not Biden has the stamina and sharpness to serve effectively as president. Only 25% of poll respondents say that he does.
So then you bring in your third-party candidates like Dr. Jill Stein. We got a Democrat running, Marianne Williamson. And we have another independent running, is Claudia de la Cruz. That would be different than bringing in an old white man. These are women. Then you got your independent men that are running, Dr. Cornell West and RFK Jr. And you even got another Democrat, Phillips, a Dean Phillips. Both RFK Jr. and Dr. Cornell West are much younger than the 81-year-old Joe Biden. And all of this is making the Democratic Party very much concerned. So concerned that even Simone, I go anywhere for a paycheck, Sanders, is calling for help. This clip is basically Simone Sanders groveling for help because of the independent candidates.
As we get closer to Election Day, there is growing attention on how third-party candidates could impact the race. So let's take a trip down memory lane to 2016. And during that election year, third-party candidates collectively won around 4% of the vote in Pennsylvania and 6% of the vote in Michigan and Wisconsin. Combined, this accounted for more than 100,000 votes, which was enough to sway the presidential race and hand Donald Trump an electoral college victory. So just imagine the impact that third-party votes could have in next year's race.
So third-party candidates are rising, huh?
Let's face it, folks. There are Americans out there who don't want to vote for Republicans and they don't want to vote for Democrats, and it does show in the data. Gallup actually found that 63% of American adults currently agree with the statement that the Republican and Democratic parties do, quote unquote, such a poor job of representing the American people that a third major party is needed. Look, I do not doubt Gallup's data, and I don't doubt the people's preferences. But the chance of a third-party candidate actually winning the presidency in real life, it remains highly unlikely. So is a third-party candidate really a threat to Joe Biden or even the Republican frontrunner Donald Trump? Well, I spoke to the senior communications director of Third Way, Kate DeGruyter.
Simone Sanders brought on his sellout Democratic Party shield, who works for the Third Way, which is a neoliberal organization designed to kind of merge Democrats and Republicans together and come up with policies that don't help anyone except corporations. Despite polling that shows that independents are vastly against Biden and Trump, but more so against Biden, that doesn't give Biden any type of cause for pause, does it?
If it is Biden and it is Trump, and the polling right now is suggesting Trump again with that commanding lead, we have in our poll Donald Trump at 46%, Joe Biden at 44%. The significance, this is the 16th time since early 2019 that we have polled a matchup of Biden versus Trump, and this is the first and so far only time in all 16 of those polls that Donald Trump has actually had the lead over Joe Biden.
Why not step out of the way if you're Joe Biden? Why not get out the way? Since we're always talking about we got to save democracy, what if running Biden is a threat to democracy itself? Was this a new idea? No one else has thought of this? People don't understand how badly Joe Biden is doing. It's bad, man.
Look where it is right now. Biden 33 approve, 62 disapprove. Again, our last poll in September, just before the situation in Israel emerged, he was 41-53. So he's 8 points down on approval, and he's almost 10 points up on disapproval. And here is where you see on this topic a huge generational gap. And I think this gets into, obviously, the presidential race, American politics in general. Just check this out. We asked about Biden's handling specifically of the Israel-Hamas war. It's similar overall here to his foreign policy job performance. But now look at the breakdown by age. Among the oldest group of voters, 65 plus, Biden's actually plus 12, majority approval. The youngest group of voters, 18 to 34, Biden is just 20% approve, 70% disapprove. He is 50 points underwater. That is a net gap of 62 points between the youngest group of voters and the oldest group of voters on how they assess Biden's performance when it comes to this war. He couldn't be more night and day than that.
But see, Biden is cocky and arrogant, and he's always had a beef with Obama for picking Hillary as his successor over Biden. So Biden kind of wants to stick it to him and run a second term, even if it does cost the presidency going back to Donald Trump. Or maybe a third-party candidate will rise up and take the reins. I mean, there's never been a time before where people were so pissed off and we had such lackluster candidates running at the same time. This presents us with an opportunity. The country wants something different. Remember that? Different will not be Joe Biden in their second term. And they want something new, and new would not be Joe Biden ever. It's not new at anything. And that's about the only thing that America can agree with on both sides of the aisle is that they don't want Joe Biden. We got black voters on one hand who are tired of hearing about these empty gestures that the Democratic Party keep coming up with. You know, empty gestures like Juneteenth being a holiday. Ooh, great. A day we already had, that we already privately celebrated. Now we can celebrate it with people who don't care about it. Great. Fantastic. What else you got? Oh, Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. And who's carrying around bills anyway? We use plastic, jackass. So we got two empty gestures. Meanwhile, what we really want is reparations, police reform, business investment, small business loans, community investment, health care. Not this bogus, oh, I cut insulin to $35 instead of Medicare for all or universal health care. In fact, folks, I don't know if you noticed or not, but for all the bragging that the Democratic Party has done about the insulin price cut, during his last days of his presidency, Donald Trump actually earmarked this. All Biden did was continue a Trump idea. So we got Joe Biden taking credit for Trump policies and hanging his presidency on it and saying, re-elect me because I did this great thing that actually was Trump doing it. I just didn't stop it or veto it. Younger voters are appalled by what's happening in Israel, bombing of Gaza, the killing of innocent children, the killing of innocent people in general. And Joe Biden's lackluster response, all in support for Israel, not working.
You know, when I spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu this morning, I told him the United States stands with the people of Israel in the face of these terrorist assaults. Israel has the right to defend itself and its people, full stop. There's never justification for terrorist attacks. And my administration's support for Israel's security is rock solid and unwavering.
And this is really sending young voters running in the opposite direction from Joe Biden.
Alarming takeaway from the poll is among voters ages 18 to 34, staggering 70% of them disapprove of Biden's handling of what's going on in Gaza. Democratic lawmakers aren't too worried, however, citing 2024 election still a year away. Here is what Senator Blumenthal said on Meet the Press in response. Let's watch.
Part of what's dragging down his poll numbers is a lack of support among younger voters for his handling of the Israel-Hamas war. How concerned are you about these numbers, and what do you think the president needs to do? Do you think he's still the best candidate for 2024?
I think he is the best candidate for 2024. I have confidence that he will overcome those poll numbers.
What's happening now with the Democrats as they grasp for straws to try to find a way to make Joe Biden seem more relevant is we got an older president who won't realize or accept the fact that it's a wrap. And we got over there, we got some people chomping at the bit. We got RFK Jr. and we got Dr. Cornell West now. Dr. Cornell West will be an unprecedented step in the right direction. Someone who has it right on Israel and Gaza. He has it right about the Palestinians, and he's right on so many other things.
Terrorism is defined by killing innocent people and terrorizing people.
Yes.
The Israeli Defense Forces have done it. Hamas have done it. Both are immoral in that sense. So I'm not defending the killing of innocent people.
These kids aren't accusing Hamas of genocide.
People who do.
They're accusing Israel.
No, but
a place that was targeted by genocide.
What is happening? No, but what is happening right now, brother? And let us be honest. If there were a Palestinian occupation of Jews, if Jews were in Gaza and Palestinians cut off water, food, electricity, bombing and killed 2,300 precious Jewish babies, which side would the American government be on? Which side would the American press be on? It would be completely different. I try to be morally consistent and say, I'm against the Palestinian occupation of Jews because Jews are precious. I'm against an Israeli occupation of Palestinians because Palestinians are precious. But when you flip that other way, all of a sudden it becomes very clear that the Palestinian lives really don't count in the way that Jewish lives do for the American government. And that's what I will never succumb to. Why? Because I'm trying to be a decent human being, and also, as you know, as a Christian, each one of those precious human beings are made in the image and likeness of God, and I'm going to stay in contact with the humanity of each, and I'm going to be critical, and I'm going to condemn any group that kills innocent people. Those are war crimes, my brother.
Yes.
Total change of direction in how we, America, are stewards of our position of power in the world community, and we can begin to act like a good partner in the community instead of a colonizing overseer who wants to dominate planet Earth. That would be a unique place for us to be, wouldn't it? I want people to realize just how badly Joe Biden is doing. Because as low as those numbers are, that you're seeing with Joe Biden, that's what an inactive, not even getting the party started yet, Dr. Cornell West. I mean, we got RFK Jr. at 20%, Marianne Williamson at a dime, Trump beating him at every swing state, and now we got Dr. Cornell West coming from the baseline. Bam! People want a fresh face. They want some change. They want some hope. They want something new. They want something different. They want to end this malarkey. So as the Democrats apply various scare tactics, shame tactics, hell, they're still blaming independent voters for the loss of Hillary Clinton because Jill Stein got 3% or 4% of the vote. Meanwhile, 91 million Americans were so excited with Hillary running, they didn't even come out to vote. 91 million. But sure, blame the independents for a Democratic Party consistently running candidates that couldn't excite a child suffering with ADHD after eating 5 snow cones, 3 Cokes, pocket full of gummy bears.
Yeah, it's been well chronicled that many in the Obama White House looked down a little bit on Scranton Joe Biden, though they valued what he brought to the ticket. But there wasn't, they did not think that necessarily he was always in the right. And there was some resentment there in the West Wing. And let's also be clear that Joe Biden never got over the idea that Barack Obama, as president, tapped Hillary Clinton to be his sort of successor and not his own vice president.
That says a lot about Joe Biden, doesn't it? The people that were closest with him didn't want him to become president. And that's why he's running, because he's stubborn and he's selfish. For the Black Television Network, my name is Tim Black. I'll see you on the next one, and if you enjoyed this content, hit like and subscribe. But you let nobody take your cornbread. And when they say, why are you tuning in to Tim Black? It's a new day.
Seeking unbiased news? Discover the new Tim Black Television Network, where truth and integrity lead the way. We're committed to honest reporting and empowering you with factual, unfiltered information. Join a community that values transparency and critical thinking. Ready for news that respects your intelligence? Visit jointimblack.com. Embrace the change, because at Tim Black Television Network, our truth matters. Sign up today for a new kind of news experience. It's a new day.